Can your company force you to answer after hours? I work in IT. Some people are surprised that I avoided having a cell phone for most of my career. I did not get one until around 2013. A big reason for that choice was simple. I knew that if I had a phone, my employer would expect me to be available all the time without any extra pay. In IT, there has always been an unspoken rule that you answer your phone no matter where you are or what you are doing. Out on a nice date, your boss is calling. Having dinner with your spouse, your boss is calling. Driving your kids to an important medical appointment, your boss is calling. And if you do not answer quickly, you get a lecture the next day at work. It does not matter that almost everything can be handled remotely. The expectation is that you must always respond. That has been the culture in IT for years, and I doubt it will change anytime soon. Early in my career, around 2005, I worked for a small company with about 50 employees. I handled help desk support and network administration. My boss had the title of IT manager, but did not have much technical knowledge. He did not understand basic networking concepts like IP addresses. He did not know why different versions of Microsoft Office looked slightly different. He did not understand how software licensing systems worked. However, he was good at using crystal reports, and that was apparently enough for him to become the manager. I did most of the real technical work while he spent about 80% of his time watching me closely and making sure I was never idle, even for 5 minutes. One evening, an employee from another department was working late and ran into a minor issue with Microsoft Excel. It was something small that could have easily waited until the next morning. However, the IT manager could not solve it at 7:45 p.m., and since I did not have a cell phone, there was no way to reach me after hours. The employee was upset. The next morning, he stormed into the IT office and loudly complained about how unacceptable it was that his Excel pivot table problem was not fixed immediately. Then, he sent a 5-page email to half the company, copying the entire executive team, explaining how terrible it was that his issue was not resolved that night. A few days later, I was called into a meeting with the IT manager and the HR representative. From the way they looked at me, I thought I might be getting fired. I was actually very good at my job. When I left a couple of years later, it took them over a year to find someone to replace me. But this meeting was not about firing me. It was about making me get a cell phone. I politely said no. They were ready for that answer and told me the company would pay for the phone. I then asked if I would receive a salary increase since I would be expected to answer calls after hours. My original employment agreement did not mention being on call. They told me there was no money in the budget for a raise. I knew that was not true because the CEO shared the company's quarterly earnings with all staff and the company was doing well. So I made them an offer. I said I would accept a company-issued cell phone and answer it after hours without asking for more pay. But on one condition, I would choose the phone and the service provider. They quickly agreed and even put it in writing. They seemed pleased with themselves, as if they had won. I began looking for the most expensive and inconvenient option I could reasonably justify. I found a Motorola Razr from NT-Do, a Japanese phone company. It was a new and costly phone at the time. The phone was technically compatible with North American networks, but I kept a Japanese phone number and required an international roaming plan. I carefully selected a plan that would result in the highest possible charges for incoming and outgoing calls. Anyone calling me would trigger two-way international long-distance fees, plus roaming charges and per-minute costs. After doing some quick calculations, I estimated that it would cost the company more than $5 per minute to call me. A day or two after the meeting, I returned to HR and my manager with the details. I presented the exact phone and plan I had chosen. From their body language, it was clear they did not know whether I was serious. The HR representative eventually realized that I was completely serious and asked why I had selected such an expensive option. I answered honestly. I said that I found it unfair that they expected me to be available at all hours, potentially interrupting my personal life at any time without offering even a small amount of additional pay. If someone wanted to call me for support after work hours, then someone would have to pay for that call one way or another. They thanked me and said they would discuss it and get back to me. After that meeting, the subject of a company cell phone was never mentioned again. I continued doing my job during normal working hours, and my personal time remained my